The Trump team just dropped a bomb that could totally flip the script on how slot machines pay out all over the USA. And let me tell you, what the big bosses are whispering about in the boardroom is either going to save you a fortune or wipe you out completely. It all depends on if you see what's coming. By the time we're done here, you're going to get exactly how these new rules could mess with every single button press you make in 2026, and what moves you need to make right now to get ready for the biggest shakeup in gambling in over 30 years. Here's the deal. In January 2025, President Trump signed an executive order telling the National Indian Gaming Commission and state regulators to tear apart slot regulations, focusing on making things fair and clear for American players. Old-school compliance officers who have seen the paperwork say this could mean casinos have to show you the RTP, stop the near-miss teasing, and maybe even force them to have better-paying versions of the big games. But there's a catch, and that catch is going to decide if you're one of the guys cashing in on this, or one of the suckers getting crushed by how the industry fights back. Before we get into the nitty-gritty, I gotta ask you, have the slots felt tighter to you lately? Like they just aren't hitting like they used to? Drop a comment and tell me. I want to know if players all over the map are feeling the same squeeze. And while you're down there, smash that subscribe button because we are about to leak insider info that the casinos absolutely do not want you to hear. Now, let's crack open exactly what these Trump-era rule changes mean for your wallet. But first, you gotta get how the regulations work right now, because what's coming won't make any sense without this background. Right now, slots run in what former regulators call a gray zone. Here's the reality. Every machine has a programmed RTP, that's return to player percentage. But the casinos, they don't have to tell you jack about it. You can walk into any casino in America today and see two Buffalo machines that look exactly the same sitting right next to each other. One might be set to pay back 92%, and the other might be a brutal 88%, and you have zero way of knowing which is the dud. Former slot directors admit this secrecy is part of the plan. Casinos rake in more cash when you can't shop around for a better deal. If you knew the Buffalo machine in the corner paid 4% better than the one by the door, you'd walk to the corner every single time. They don't want that. They want you parking your rear end at the first machine that grabs your attention, whether it's a loose machine or a tight one. Check out this real story a former manager spilled. There was a player named Robert, a regular at a tribal spot in Oklahoma. Good guy, construction worker, hit the slots every Friday after his shift. Robert had his machine, a Wheel of Fortune penny slot right by the bathrooms. He'd been grinding on that same box for 3 years. What Robert didn't know and couldn't possibly know was that his favorite game was set to a nasty 86% RTP, while the identical Wheel of Fortune game on the other side of the floor was set at 91%. Over 3 years, based on how he played and his bets, that 5% gap probably cost Robert somewhere between 15 and 20 grand in extra losses. He was clueless, and under the current rules, the casino didn't have to say a word. Robert only found out when an old slot tech who used to work there mentioned it in a Facebook gambling group. By then, the money was gone. This is the game we've been playing, and it's exactly what Trump's new rules are trying to fix. But here's where it gets messy, and this is the stuff the news isn't telling you. Former federal regulators who read the order and the draft rules say there are 3 big changes on the table. Number 1, mandatory RTP disclosure on every box. This forces casinos to slap the payback percentage right on the machine or a sign next to it. Number 2, bans on near-miss programming. This would stop the machines from constantly teasing you with symbols that look like you almost won when the math says you never had a shot. Number 3, baseline minimum RTP standards. This could set a hard floor for how low the payouts can go, maybe somewhere in the 88 to 90% range depending on what you're betting. Now, if you spin slots, this probably sounds awesome. Finally, some truth. Finally, protection from the tightest bandits. Finally, a fair fight. And you're not wrong to get your hopes up. These changes could honestly help your odds and make the game better. But listen to what the ex-casino execs are whispering behind closed doors. This is the part most players are missing. The industry is already cooking up countermoves that could blow up in our faces. Think about it. Casinos are billion-dollar monsters. They don't just roll over and lose money. When the rules squeeze them here, they find a way to grab that cash from somewhere else, and the moves they're drawing up are sneaky and totally legal. The casino response, what they're planning. Former VPs have leaked that the big casino corporations held emergency war rooms just weeks after Trump's order dropped. The question wasn't if they would follow the rules, it was how they could follow them while keeping their slot revenue climbing. And they've picked three main strategies that should scare the hell out of every slot player. Strategy number one, the RTP shell game. Here's how they run this hustle. If they have to post the percentages, they'll do it, but what they'll also do is reconfigure the whole floor to create what insiders call tiered transparency. They'll set a few machines to really generous levels, maybe 95 to 97%, and hype them up. These will be the ones right by the door, near the cage, anywhere with a crowd. Signs will point to them, staff will hype them, they'll be the stars of the show. Then they'll set the massive majority of their machines, we're talking 80 to 90% of the floor, at the absolute bare minimum the law allows, probably 88 to 90%, and scatter them everywhere else. The mind game here is that you see the high-paying machines, feel like the casino is being cool and fair, and assume everything is paying out well. But in reality, only a handful of machines have those sweet odds. The rest are bottom of the barrel. And because you're seeing percentages everywhere, you'll get what the execs call transparency fatigue. After a bit, you'll stop checking every single sticker because it's a hassle. You'll think, they have to post it, so it must be good. And that's when you sit at an 88% trap, thinking it's fine because you saw a 95% sign when you walked in. Former directors have admitted in private that this could actually boost their hold percentages because players will get a false sense of safety. You'll think the joint is honest, so you'll play longer and bet heavier, never realizing you're on a tight machine the whole time. One ex-VP at a huge Vegas strip joint told a conference they think this trick could bump slot revenue by 3 to 5% in the first year. That's millions of dollars stripped from players while they feel safer than ever. Strategy number two, denomination manipulation. Here's something former slot managers broke down. Under the new plan, minimum payouts would likely change based on coin size. Pennies might have a floor of 86%, nickels 88%, quarters 90%, and dollar slots might have to hit 92% or better. The logic is that higher bets make more money, so casinos can afford to give more back. But here's the dirty play insiders say is coming, and this one really ticks off the staff. They are going to slash the number of high-denomination machines on the floor. If dollar slots have to pay 92% and pennies only 86%, why would a casino keep the dollar slots? For pure profit, it makes way more sense to turn the floor into a penny and nickel factory where the required payout is lower. Former planners revealed that big companies are already sketching new layouts that shift 70 to 80% of their floor to games under 50 cents. One ex-director at a regional spot said they plan to cut their quarter machines from 200 down to 40 and their dollar machines from 50 down to just 10. The empty space gets filled with penny and nickel traps. What this means for you is that your chance to find a bigger denomination machine with better odds could disappear after these rules hit. You might walk in during 2026 and find that the quarter and dollar games you loved are gone, replaced by aisles of penny games that are legally allowed to keep more of your cash. And when you ask where the dollar slots went, they'll say, oh, people just like penny games more. But that's garbage. The real reason is profit margins. Strategy number three, the volatility trap. This one is nasty. The new rules focus on RTP, return to player, but they don't say a word about volatility. That's how often a machine pays and how big the wins are. Two machines can both have 90% RTP, but one pays small wins constantly, while the other starves you to death and then hits one monster jackpot. Former game designers say casinos are planning to shift hard toward high volatility games that meet the legal RTP but feel way tighter. Check this example. Imagine a box set at 90% RTP, which sounds okay, right? But it's cranked to extreme volatility. You might spend 200 times and get nothing, then hit a bonus worth 500x, then go another 400 spins dry. Mathematically, over 1,000,000 spins, it hits 90%, but your night on that machine feels like you're just feeding it money except for those rare huge hits. Former bosses say high volatility games are better for the house even at the same RTP because most players don't have the bankroll to survive the dead zones. You'll bust out before you hit the big win that evens out the math. And because the rules only make them show RTP, not volatility, you won't know if you're at a smooth 90% game or a brutal bankroll killer 90% game. They look identical on paper. One former operations manager said they are looking at games like Buffalo Gold and Lightning Link as the blueprint. These games have decent long-term stats, but crazy volatility, meaning most sessions end in a loss. The casino gets to advertise a fair percentage while still crushing most players. Now, you might be thinking I'm being a downer. Surely these rules help a little, right? Well, let me show you what went down when other countries tried this. In 2019, the UK made every slot in casinos and betting shops show the RTP clearly. Advocates cheered it as a huge win, and at first it looked good. Players could see the odds, finally, no secrets. But former UK operators tell a different story, and it should scare American players. The average amount casinos kept from players actually went up by 1.2%. Let me repeat that. After transparency happened, casinos made more money. How? Former analysts say they used the exact playbook we just talked about. They made a few showcase machines at 98% and advertised them like crazy. Players saw them, felt good about the place, and then wandered off to play their favorites, which were quietly set to the legal minimum of 88%. They killed off the high denom machines and pushed high volatility games that felt tight. Surveys showed that 67% of regular players said they lost more money in the 2 years after the rules changed. The transparency didn't save them, it just made them feel smart while they went broke. Same story in Australia. In 2017, New South Wales forced RTP disclosure on pokies. Revenue dipped about 2% at first, but by year 3, revenue was up 4% over the old levels. Former commissioners explained that players shopped around for about 6 to 18 months, then got lazy and went back to their favorite games regardless of the odds. The casinos knew this would happen and dropped the payouts to the minimums. One Sydney exec said the rules were the best thing to happen to the industry because it gave players a false confidence. They felt informed, so they bet bigger and lost more. It was a win-win for the house and a loss for the players. The lesson is simple. Transparency doesn't protect you if casinos can manipulate everything else: denominations, placement, volatility. And Trump's current draft doesn't stop any of that. Here's a massive piece of the puzzle most people miss. Native American casinos run on a totally different set of rules. They answer to the Indian Gaming Regulatory Act, not federal commercial rules. This means Trump's order might not even touch them. Former tribal commissioners say many nations are ready to fight this in court, and they'll probably win. This could create a split system. Commercial joints in Vegas or Atlantic City have to show RTP, but tribal spots in Oklahoma or California don't. If that happens, consultants predict a weird shift. Tribal casinos could market themselves as having more variety and less government meddling, but the cruel joke is that without rules, they don't have to improve payouts at all. They could run even tighter slots while claiming to be the player-friendly option. A former exec at a Midwest tribal casino admitted they are talking about lowering their average RTP from 90% to 88% while boosting comps. Give a guy a $30 buffet and he feels like a king even if he just lost $300 on a machine that's tighter than last year. It's pure psychology. If commercial casinos have to post 90%, tribal spots might post nothing and let you assume they're better. It's brilliant for them, terrible for you. Okay, so if the house is rigging the reaction to these rules, what's your move? Former pros and advantage players have a survival guide for the Trump era. Strategy 1, become an RTP hunter. If they post the numbers, use them religiously. Don't just plop down. Spend 10 minutes walking the floor. Compare 5 Buffalo machines. Play the highest one, even if it's near the bathroom. Insiders say this alone saves you 3 to 5%, which is thousands over a year. But watch out, they will scouter the good ones to make you work for it. Don't be lazy. One pro said he spent 15 minutes writing down RTPs before playing a single spin. He figured it saved him $8,000 a year. Strategy 2, master the denomination. If they kill the dollar slots, you have to adjust. Don't spread your money thin on pennies. Save up for a session where you can play quarters or dollars. A $200 bankroll on quarters at 92% lasts longer than on pennies at 86%. The math is rock solid. Don't fall for the multi-line penny games that bet like dollar games. That's a trap. A quarter game gives you better odds, period. Strategy 3. Track your results. Casinos track everything you do. You need to do the same. Start a log. Date, time, money in, money out, how the machine felt. After 20 visits, you'll see patterns. You might find you lose way more on Saturdays or that one specific casino is a money pit. This data is worth more than any regulation because it's your reality. One guy found out he lost 40% more when playing alone versus with his wife. That's the kind of info that saves your bankroll. Strategy 4. Learn video poker. Designers say video poker won't change much because the pay tables are already visible. If slots get messy, video poker is the life raft. It takes work to learn the strategy, but a 99.5% payback machine is light years better than an 86% slot. Practice on free ops first. One pro said switching to video poker cut his hourly loss from $45 to $3. That saved him $6,000 a year. Strategy 5. Exploit the transition. When the rules hit, casinos will panic and run promos to keep you happy. Double points, new member bonuses, the works. Hit them hard. Sign up everywhere. Use the free play. This is your window. But after 6 months, watch out. Once the dust settles, they will tighten the screws. The winners are the ones who grab the freebies and then reevaluate. Here's the truth from the CFOs. They aren't scared of rules. They aren't scared of online betting. They are scared of educated players. A player who knows RTP, manages money, and tracks results kills their profit margins. Their whole business is built on people being clueless and emotional. The second you stop acting like a sucker, you become a problem customer. Trump's rules give you the tools, but you have to use them. Insiders say the draft rules get finalized by summer 2026. Then casinos get 6 to 12 months to comply. So the full change hits late 2027 or early 2028. You have about 18 to 24 months. Use that time. Learn the floor, track your play, get ready. The bottom line, these rules could help you if you're disciplined. If you do the homework, you can win more. But for the casual guy who just wants to push buttons, these rules might hurt you bad. You could end up on tighter, high volatility penny machines while feeling protected. That's the nightmare, and based on history, it's likely. So who are you going to be in 2026? The player who hunts for the best odds, or the one who plays the same old 87% trap because it's your game? Really think about that. Now I want to hear from you. Do you think Trump's rules will help us, or is it just another way for casinos to get creative with our cash? Drop your honest take in the comments. And what percent of players will actually check the RTP? 10%? 50%? Give me a number. If this video opened your eyes, hit that like button and share it with every slot player you know. Subscribe if you want the real insider scoop on how to protect your wallet. The industry is getting ready for 2026 right now. Are you? Knowledge is your weapon. Stay sharp, play smart, track everything, and I'll see you at the slots. Good luck out there.